but it's not an easy business, and you still need to put the work in. I think maybe an unrealistic expectation of people who want to swan in, think they can spend £10,000 or come in with £20,000 in a year's time, end up with £100,000. Come on, guys, you know, anyone who sells this kind of thing, and there are people, groups out there that do kind of sell this dream, I think it's just unrealistic to just offer these. Front, I was living and breathing this business for the first year, basically 8, 10, 12 hours a day. I was, you know, talking to people, I was analysing deals, I was watching videos, educating myself. Going a bit different this week, I'm doing my weekly vlog from the office rather than doing my usual driving vlog. Yeah, I did actually record my vlog yesterday, but I ran out of space on my memory card. So stupid, so I thought I'd re-record it here and just give you an update on, you know, how I'm going for this month, any thoughts that I've got. I've actually got quite a few questions from people, which I thought I'd answer in this as well. A few doom and gloom questions or comments that people have made to me, so I thought I'd address those in this video. My name's Simon, I'm a 6-figure Amazoner in the UK. I like to do these vlogs every sort of week or so, where I just go over what's happening in Amazon, you know, latest news I suppose, what's going on with me in Amazon, my businesses, and just kind of talk and maybe entertain you while you're prepping or where you want to learn about Amazon or just hear about the realities of selling on Amazon from an Amazon seller. So how's the month going? It's going okay. It's not great. It's a bit of a slow October, to be honest. I think maybe everyone's kind of saving money for Christmas. I'm not sure why it's slow for me, but I'm on 6,417 profit on the 28th of October. So at this rate, maybe I'll get to 7,000, and that is, you know, let's say I get to 7,000. That's 7,000 before expenses. I think we can easily say we can knock off about 2,000 expenses, maybe even 2,500, which would put me around to what, 4,500, 5,000 profit, something around there. So I'm not complaining, it's still good money, but you guys know I like to hit the 10,000 every single month, and I don't know, yeah, it's just not ideal, but it's been slow. I was tempted to kind of reprice a lot of my items, but I know they're going to do really well at Christmas. Obviously, Christmas is coming. I think November, December is going to be amazing, to be honest. People are going to start thinking about Christmas. After we get over the Halloween period, I think people are going to go switch into that sort of Christmas mindset. And to be honest, I've got a lot of stock in Amazon. I was looking here, I've got £126,000 of stock in Amazon right now, and on the way, I've got probably another 20,000 probably sat at prep centres right now, or on the way to the prep centres. So I've probably got around maybe 145, 150,000 of stock ready for Q4 as long as it gets in time, which should hopefully mean that I'll do very well for Q4. Who knows, we'll see. I've gone very heavy on perfumes and aftershaves this year. Obviously, you guys know Christmas, you can do well on toys, video games, gifts, perfumes, aftershaves. To be honest, for me, I just decided to go down the perfume aftershave route. You know, maybe toys is a better strategy, I don't know. I spent all my money on perfumes, aftershaves. You know, there's plenty of leads out there. So yeah, I know people are being very heavy on toys as well, which can go very well, so thing. But yeah, I've kind of neglected toys a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. I've gone very heavy on the perfumes and aftershaves, but that's because of Cogita. So, you know, I've been obviously promoting Cogita very heavily, buying crap loads of stuff from there. It's an absolute gold mine. For any of you that are not signed up to Cogita, check out link in the description. Get £120 off your first order. You get £120 credit into your account, which is really amazing. Makes your first order very profitable, so check that out, link in description. We've also got a bunch of videos talking about Cogita as well, showing you how to source it, how to use the Cogita price drop survey if you want to sign up for that as well. And it's basically an absolute gold mine of deals. And actually one of the questions I've got today is about Cogita, so we'll go on to that in a little bit. Now before we move on, I just want to say that this video is sponsored by Profitector Pro. You've probably seen the logo down there. Profitector Pro are the sponsor of this channel, they're sponsoring this video, so I do want to thank Profitector Pro for sponsoring this video. They are the best repricer for Amazon FBA sellers. It's the repricer that I use. It's really a fantastic repricer. It uses AI to reprice your items, and if you're just using a rule-based repricer, you really are missing out. So check out Profitector Pro, link in description for that. You can get I think it's a 7 or 14 day free trial, and it really is a fantastic repricer. So link for that is in the description. Definitely give it a go. If you're not using a repricer, and especially an AI repricer, you are missing out on sales and profit basically. So yeah, absolutely give that a go, guys. So yeah, hopefully you guys are all sort of prepping for Q4, I guess. Hopefully you're all thinking about Q4. You should have been thinking about Q4 maybe a month or so, or 2 months ago, but it's still not too late. We've still got 2 months to go. Still definitely worth looking into doing Q4 items now. Again, toys, video games, gift sets, perfumes, all those kind of things do extremely well. So make sure you start buying those items, get them sent into Amazon ASAP. And like I say, if you decide you want to go down the perfume and aftershave and sort of gifts and healthcare, you know, health and beauty, I should say, then you can check out Cogita, which I think is just amazing anyway. But yeah, so I had a question from someone. Once someone said, so basically, or they saw a post saying, I can see Cogita becoming massively saturated in the near future. A lot of people are releasing price drop monitors. None of them is quite as good as the Cogita price drop monitor though, that I'll link in the subscription that is created by my younger brother in conjunction with me. I helped him build it. Obviously, I order from Cogito a lot, so I was able to give him some good tips on what to do. It's the best one, so check that out. This guy says, I don't do a lot of wholesale. One tip that stuck with me when I did a small course 18 months ago was if it's really easily available, it's not going to be a great wholesaler. So, you know, I kind of somewhat agree with that a tiny bit. Introducing a price drop monitor into the mix, essentially OA website. There will be people thinking outside the box with Cogito, and those people do well. Yeah, I mean, this again is similar to a very simple question we'll get onto in a minute. Yeah, I mean, I somewhat agree with this. Is it going to get a bit more saturated? Yes. Has it become more saturated since I jumped to it? Yes. Are there still tens of thousands of pounds of profit to be made every single month? Yes. You know, I mean, just the other day I spent £11,000. I went through a bit of a lull period where I wasn't ordering because I kind of ran out of money. And then I was like, right, I've got some money to spend now. Basically went on, short for about 2 hours, spent 11 grand. Will it become more and more saturated over time? Maybe, who knows? Yes, I guess in a regard, but there's still always going to make money there. And you know what this guy says here is like thinking outside the box. I definitely agree with that. Basically, like no matter what you're doing, wholesale, OA, anything, the more that you can think outside the box, the better. The more effort you can put into sourcing, the better. You know, and it all comes down to again the effort you put in. Maybe how good your analysis is. Are you thinking a little bit more rather than like 1D? You're thinking 2D, 3D. Like in terms of like you're thinking about more advanced analysis. A great example is like perfumes, for example. Maybe people are just looking at perfumes now, going, is this profitable now? And it's like, I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at, is this profitable in December? That's what I'm looking at. That's when the sales volumes go up. That's when the prices go up. So again, if you're just doing this like basic analysis on stuff, then yeah, you're probably going to struggle a little bit to make those bigger numbers and profit. You can still make money. But yeah, I still think like Cogito, I get what he's saying. I agree with it to a certain extent, absolutely. But at the same time, it's like anything really, you know, really good things, everyone jumps onto them, and Cogito right now is literally the hottest thing, so get onto it now before everyone gets onto it. And the other thing I'm going to say as well is, and I know this because I promote it quite a lot, is there's not as many people on there as you think. People think there's thousands of people on there sourcing. There really aren't. The biggest I guess barrier is capital. Because it's wholesale, you do have to order a little bit more than normal versus like an OA website. And again, I guess comes on to the other point of why I like Cogito as well, is like when I see a great price drop come in from Cogito Price Drop Monitors, server that provides these monitors, I just buy all the stock. You know, so, you know, that's probably why I spend like 11 grand in a day. I see a killer deal, I can just buy all the stock. Problem solved. Where's the competition there if I've got it all? There isn't any competition. Occasionally, every now and then, it'll restock, and you know what? I'll just buy that as well. Depends how big the restock is. But obviously, this requires capital and stuff. But you know, this is what you can think about when you get more advanced into Amazon. You've been doing Amazon for a longer time. You've got a bit more money behind you. But yeah, that's a great way to eliminate competition. So it's an interesting one, really. And say, unlike OA, where you have limits on, or you can order like 5 or 10 before you get cancelled. There's no limits on wholesale. You can order as much as you want. That's the whole point of wholesale using Cogito. So there's always deals on there. You guys could give me, you know, if you gave me 200 grand, you know, to spend extra on stock, I could spend that in a month on Cogito, no problem whatsoever, absolutely no problem. Like I said, I spent 11 grand in like 2 hours of sourcing on one day. So now I had another question actually. I made like a little notepad here of questions. One good thing about me not driving is I can actually read these. So when I did the car vlog thing, I had to actually pull over, read the question because one of them's quite long, and then I continued my drive. Someone is basically saying they want to get into Amazon starting with 20,000-ish, it said less than 20,000 actually, but they want to get to 100,000 in, turn that 20,000 to 100,000 in a year. I basically just said, and this is the answer to that as well, but I obviously messaged them as well saying, that is just not realistic. Setting yourself up for failure there. Now, I know some people have probably done this, absolutely. If you cotton on to some killer deal that not many people know about and you can make ridiculous profits and churn your stock and your money really quickly, sure, you could get to 100k. Like, people have done it, but they are the exception to the rule. I didn't make 100 grand in my first year. God, I mean, nowhere near that. And I had a bunch of help as well. So it's such an unrealistic thing. I say to people normally, if you've got £20,000, for example, you can normally make about 10% a month. So, you know, if you were able to spend that £20,000 all in 1 month on good stock, assuming you know what you're doing. If you're new, you're definitely going to be making mistakes, so you might not even buy in that great stock. But let's assume you buy a good stock, 30% ROI, something around there. Obviously, you're not going to be able to churn all that stock in one day, in 1 month, sorry, realistically. But yeah, you're looking to probably make around 2,000 a month, is what I'd say. So 10%, 2,000 a month. And then obviously you can take that 2,000 you make, hopefully in that month, then your total capital is 22,000. Then hopefully next month you'll be making 2,200. Then obviously you put that money back in. And it does kind of snowball a little bit, but it takes a long time to get going. Starts with a very small snowball and then eventually does get bigger and bigger. But yeah, 100,000 a year is a tough call. I was thinking to myself, like, if I create a brand new Amazon account now, started with £20,000, in a year, could I turn that 20,000 to 100,000? It would be a tall order. Maybe, possibly. It's kind of like it'd be kind of an interesting challenge, actually. It's a shame you can't have multiple Amazon accounts, because I'd love to do these like challenges, where I maybe start with £1,000, turn it into X, or I start with whatever. Maybe I could think about like, yeah, I have to think about how I could do this. I suppose I could do it on my current Amazon account, but God, it'd be so hard to track the profits and stuff, but then have only certain stock allocated towards this challenge. It's an interesting one. It becomes very tricky to track it on like Seller Toolkit and stuff. I don't know how I'd actually do that, but yeah, it's an interesting one anyway that I could think about, a cool little challenge there, like turning X into X. But yeah, just, you know, I guess the whole point of this, what I'm saying here though, is guys, let's be realistic on what you're going to make. I know people post big numbers out there, but yeah, let's be realistic. And you know, I always say to people, first year's for learning, second year's for earning. Just get into the business, be patient. You can make those big numbers, but they're not going to come right away. You just got to be patient like in any business. And this is not an easy business. Another question I'll get onto in a second, another point. But yeah, it is easier than other businesses. But yeah, it just got to be patient, guys. Come on. Like this, and let's be real as well. Everything you see on social media, I try to keep it real, guys, you know, but there's a lot of people out there that are posting ridiculous numbers that are just obviously fake or inflated or not showing the whole truth. You know, even when I post SDK figures, you guys know that they're not the true figures. Like, they're just the gross profit, I suppose you call them. So it's a real, you know, accounting way of looking things. But yeah, but you know, we need to factor in the net profit. And that's why I do these, well, not now, but like every month I try and do a sort of show you what my SDK figures were, what happens after I take off my expenses, just from like Amazon, and then all my other expenses as well. And what do I end up with my net profit? So that's the difference, is like gross versus net profit. They are vastly different things. And you guys have seen that I've started with maybe made £11,000 in a month and then ended up with like 8,000. So, you know, after I take off all my expenses. So it can whittle down pretty quickly depending on how much you spent that month and what you spent it on. See, anyway, you know, just kind of interesting question anyway. So another big question here. So, you know, this person says basically, so the long and short of it is, you've been in the game a long time, and I was wondering here if I needed to switch tactics. I've been with Profit Sweep. So Profit Sweep's a fantastic deals group, basically, like the best one out there. So he's basically, I've been with Profit Sweep for a time now, and I just want to feel like Amazon to Amazon, there's a massive amount of competition I can't keep up. Constantly having to check prices, the tanking on listings, the decisions to wait or hold or to sell out quickly as possible. You already know the long and short of it. It's nice as a side thing to grab the odd deal here and there, but I'm sure you'd agree, as I said, there's no longevity just running A2A at all. So I'll address that first. I disagree with this. It kind of comes to the point of like, I know there's a guy in my group called Stanners FBA. He started Amazon around, I think, 2015, kind of gave it up. Back in 2015, though, I was talking to him about this at the seller meetup that we had for Selleramp. People were saying back in 2015 that it's too late for Amazon, basically. It's dead, you know. This method's dead. OA's dead, whatever, you know. And then people are still doing it in 2020. But then people say, well, it's dead now in 2020. You can't do it anymore in 2020. It's too late. It's too late for Amazon, okay? And then we're in 24 still, you know, and then, or nearly 2025 now, people saying, hey, it's dead again. But these things just carry on. Like, you do need to be evolving your strategies potentially, and getting better at the business. But there's always going to be opportunity there. And Amazon to Amazon is a fantastic way to make money. I've always said this. I think it's always going to be a great way to make money. Yes, there's more competition. I've always found Amazon to Amazon, you just have to hold it. Literally, it's like a 3-month hold on average. You buy the stock. If lots of people jump on it as well, you hold it for 3 months. And again, it comes down to your analysis. Are you buying slower items, faster items? How much profit was there in there when you bought it? Was it 20% ROI or 40% ROI? All comes down to your analysis and deciding and making those decisions on what to buy and what to pass on. You don't just want to blindly buy everything that they post, any group post, to be honest. You've got to do some critical thinking, you've got to do some analysis. But yeah, generally a 3-month hold, and then you can make your money. Let everyone else sell out and make no money, and then you've got your 3-month hold. Now, would I say run your entire business on Amazon to Amazon? No. I've always said Amazon to Amazon is the icing on the cake. I think you should have a solid OA or wholesale or PL or whatever you want to do as a base of your Amazon, and then, you know, A2A is just the icing on the cake. And sometimes the icing can be more profitable than the actual like your base of your model some months. But yeah, I mean, I think Amazon is a great way to make money, Amazon to Amazon. It can be a bit inconsistent here and there. You can go a few weeks or even a month where there's no really good deals, and then suddenly you'll have 2 drop in the same day, 2 amazing ones. So that's why I always say don't build your business on that. However, I know a guy who makes around 2,000. Actually, this month I think he's going to hit £3,000 profit. He pretty much does like 80% A2A. So you can make good money. You know, you can't make 10,000 a month, 20,000 a month from A2A. Or actually, to be honest, you can. I know guys that are going to do that, but realistically, you're looking to probably make around 1,000, 2,000 profit a month from A2A. So I kind of disagree with this sort of question or comment this person left me. It was a bit sort of doom and gloom for me. I think Amazon is a viable method. And just a quick tip, I suppose, that if I'm looking at an Amazon to Amazon deal, obviously if it sells out immediately, and some of these, the best ones do, they sell out in seconds or minutes, it's going to be a good one. Other ones are sat there for 2, 3, 4 hours. They pinged out to dozens of groups. Sure, that's going to tank. Just cancel it, basically. Don't even buy it at that point. So if it's in stock for hours and hours and hours, sure, just cancel it. Unless it's some ridiculously fast-selling item, just cancel it. So, yeah, I don't know. It's you got to use critical thinking, basically. And just you put some effort in, I suppose. You can't, and again, this comes to another point I want to make. I'm going to do a whole video on this, actually, in that I'm seeing a lot of people moaning about, I don't want to be too ranty here, but I guess I'm going to do a whole video on the realities of Amazon FBA. And people are basically just like, they want to be given the leads, they want to be given everything, they want it handed to them on a platter, but then they don't want anyone else to have that platter. They want the platter just for them, I guess, if that makes sense. So but it's not realistic in this business to be given things on a platter and expect them not to tank a little bit in price or other people to jump on. It's just, that's the reality of it. If you're in a paid Discord group, even a small one like we get to Price Drops, there's going to be maybe some tanking. If you're given the leads, essentially, and it comes back to this first point, the easier it is, the less profit there is to make, basically, or the longer you need to leave it to get your money back. Isn't to make your profit. So yeah, I mean, this is the reality of Amazon. The easier it is, the less profit there is to make. The more effort you can put in, the more advanced the tactic, the better your analysis, all this kind of stuff, the more money you're going to make. So people, I think maybe, again, I hope I've not garnered this, I guess, thought process, but I mean, Amazon's not an easy business. I've never before hopefully portrayed it as an easy business. Now, it is easier than a traditional business where you have to find customers and things like that. But, and you can get in, there's very little barrier to entry apart from having money and knowledge. You can get in and make some really good money, some quick money. But it's not an easy business and you still need to put the work in. I think maybe an unrealistic expectation of people who want to swan in, think they can spend £10,000 or come in with £20,000 in a year's time, end up with £100,000. Come on, guys. Anyone who sells this kind of thing, and there are groups out there that do kind of sell this dream, and people out who sell this dream. I think it's just unrealistic to just offer these. They basically give you like the exception to the rule. They say, oh, look at this guy, he did this. It's like, yeah, he did that, but the 400 other people didn't. So, they did it normally and they progressed at a normal pace rather than this one exception. So yeah, I just think, I'm going to do a whole video on this anyway. Just people trying to just be realistic, guys. This is a fantastic business model. It is easier than a traditional business, in my opinion. It's a great gateway business as well, in my opinion. But you're not going to walk in and make 100 grand in your first year. It's very unlikely. However, you can make that after a year, after the first year, in the second year, third year. Again, depending on how much work you put in, how much capital you've got. And again, I've said this before in the past, but I don't put that much work into Amazon FBA anymore. Maybe an hour a day or 2 hours a day on average, really. But I did all that work up front. I was living and breathing this business for the first year, basically 8, 10, 12 hours a day. I was, talking to people. I was analysing deals. I was watching videos, educating myself. So I put all that work up front, and now I'm very good at analysing deals, analysing listings. Obviously, you could always be improving, but I've gotten to that point now where, I can make relatively consistent profits every single month. So anyway, I guess it all boils down to the more work you put in, the more profit you're going to get out, basically. So yeah, anyway, some very interesting questions from people there, or comments, I suppose, or DM. These all came through DMs. Hopefully these guys don't mind me revealing these questions out to people. I've not mentioned any names here, so just don't believe everything you read on social media. There's a lot of groups out there, they post ridiculous figures, ridiculously optimistic things just to try and get new people into Amazon. And it's not, I don't know, anyway, it's not the best anyway, so. But yeah, what else has been going on Amazon then? How have you guys found your October, by the way? Do you find it a good month, a bad month? I say for me, it was a little bit slow. Wasn't that thrilled about the progress of it, but I really hope that Christmas, November, December, gets a lot better. So yeah, things that have been going on Amazon right now. Everyone is struggling to ungate brands. Amazon are being very strict at the moment. The best advice I give to people is you've just got to keep trying. I had this with Paco Rabanne. I ordered my 10 units from Notino. That was my go-to place to do cosmetic or health and beauty or whatever Ungate, Notino. It's worked for me for dozens of brands. And then suddenly with Paco Rabanne, they're asking for the supplier's supplier. They're asking you to go back to Notino and say, hey, can you ask Notino for the supplier? They're asking me, you know, or saying it's not a valid invoice, all this kind of rubbish. You just got to keep trying. Basically, you got to keep submitting, keep explaining why it's a valid invoice, keep explaining how unrealistic it is to get a seller invoice. And if it doesn't work as well, what worked for me is I just let it sit for like 10 days. Then I reapplied again. And it does auto close the case, but you just need to like say, get more help on the case and then explain your situation. Just pretend that they're seller support or a 4-year-old, explain it in uncertain terms, what's going on, and you should be able to ungate. You've just got to be consistent. Again, I guess the barrier to entry for Amazon is getting a little bit higher, especially around Q4 with cosmetic items and cosmetic brands. But you just got to put the work in. It's a bit of a pain, I get it, but in a way you should look at this as a good thing. If you're an existing Amazon seller or you're someone who wants to get into Amazon, know that it's a little bit higher, which means the barrier to entry is a little bit higher, which means there's going to be less people coming in potentially, which means potentially you're going to make more money. So in a way you should be glad that it's like this. But yeah, that's the best advice I can give you. Just keep trying. It took me about 10 goes, I think, to get Paco Rabanne finally ungated. But yeah, with consistency and just, you know, putting the effort in and keep trying over and over and over, eventually you'll get accepted. So yeah, you've got to keep trying, and that's, you know, same with any brand really. So I think I've had my 2 nemesis brands have been Lenovo, Paco Rabanne, and say with Lenovo, for example, a great example here, they kept just saying, oh, your supplier invoice is not good enough, whatever. I bought it directly from Lenovo business's website, so obviously they supply to businesses. It was like a proper invoice from Lenovo direct, and Amazon kept telling me it wasn't good enough. So it just shows you what BS you have to go through. If you're getting one from Lenovo, I mean, it's just ridiculous. The whole thing's just crazy. So yeah, it just happens. Sometimes you get these brands that are tough to ungate. Generally, I'd see the best brands are the harder ones to ungate. So, you know, a lot of these cosmetic brands are not cosmetic, but these like perfume brands like Paco Rabanne or Versace or I don't know, whatever brands I can't think of the top of my head right now, are really hard to ungate. And some of the other big brands, whatever it is, maybe Sony's an example or whatever, can be quite hard brands to ungate, but definitely worth doing. But yeah, I'm just trying to think what else has been going on in the Amazon world, really. Yeah, I don't know, it's kind of interesting. So, as I say, I'm getting a lot of questions recently, a lot of DMs from people asking me to like analyse deals, which is cool. If you've got a deal you want me to analyse. By the way, just don't send me a list of like 10 or 20 deals to analyse in one go. You know who you are if you send it. I do want to get around to it, but if you send me one ASIN to review, I'll probably get around to it right away. If you send me a list of 10 or 15 or 20, that just looks like a whole lot of work for me. And I'm just like, I can't just do it, basically. I can't allocate the time for that as much as I'd love to. That just looks like a lot of work to me. So definitely, if you've got a list of 10, just send me maybe one at a time over you know, one a day or one every few days. Don't send me too many. So I do apologise to that person who's I've not replied to, but that just looked like a whole lot of work to me. That basically means I've got to sit there for an hour analysing those deals, and you know, I'm happy to help people out and stuff, and I do one-on-one support calls and things like that, but we're talking 10-15 minute, you know, help call. And by the way, if you want to book a call, by the way, you can join my Discord community. I've got a fantastic Discord community, and I offer one-on-one free calls for everyone. So yeah, again, I keep getting asked, do I do mentorship, do I do coaching? Right now I don't, so yeah, I won't be doing that. But again, just take advantage of those free calls. And say sometimes they go on for 10-15 minutes, people's just got like one question they want to ask. Other times, maybe just click with the people and it goes on for an hour. It depends how I'm feeling at the time, what I've got going on, things like that. I'm obviously trying to help people. Can't always promise they'll be like an hour long, but sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. But yeah, I just say, like, I'm happy to help, but like within limits, guys, you know. Don't want to sound like an arsehole here, but you know. And I'm going to start redirecting some of those questions that people are asking me. Like, some people are asking some great questions, by the way, but they're good questions you can ask in the group, because again, you'll probably benefit from having answers from many different point of views, not just mine. I'm not the be all and end all, like the final say on everything when it comes to Amazon. I can just tell you what's worked for me, what I've done, and from my experience. But sometimes other people have got better opinions than me or more knowledge on a certain area. Actually, there's a few guys yesterday who are definitely answering some questions. Someone was basically saying, well, I keep getting Amazon buying stock from me. And I was like, I don't know why that is, to be honest. I was like, It's a very strange one. And it turns out Amazon, if they see an arbitrage opportunity where they can buy your stock in the UK and sell it to someone in Europe, they'll do that basically. So Amazon will be like, they'll buy a stock off you and then sell it to someone else. So kind of like an interesting one, really. God, my computer keeps going off here, probably messing with the light level. So apologies for that. So I don't know if my editors put any B-roll in here. It's a bit of a weird angle down there. I've got too many monitors and stuff here. It's very hard to get good angles on the, obviously got the main camera here, and then we've got this B-roll one. You can probably see there's a bit of a mess under there in terms of cables. Yeah, you're seeing like what the rest of the office looks like down there. But yeah, trying to obviously make these things a little bit more interesting. If you're even watching this, some people hopefully just listening to it, who knows, while you're prepping and stuff. That's why I like to do these, keep you entertained, give you an update of what's going on. But yeah, in terms of outside of Amazon, obviously social media is going very well. My YouTube channel is growing slowly. Getting my Discord community is growing really nicely. I think we're on about 750 members now in there, which is really nice. I want to get to 1,000 by the end of the year. I'm not sure if I'm going to hit that, but I can't even figure out how to get to the members section. 782 actually, so that's not too bad actually. So yeah, maybe we'll get to 1,000. That's my goal anyway, get 1,000 people in there by the end of the year. It's been the community is fantastic. I tend to take it a little bit easier on the weekends, not answer so many questions. I'm trying to get, one of the things I worked on recently is like trying to just maybe, having gone from living and breathing Amazon FBA and being so immersed into business, just learning to maybe just take you don't need to work 12-hour days all the time. It's fine in the first year maybe when you're doing your business, but it's not a sustainable thing. So I've been trying to figure out that kind of work-life balance now where I'm kind of shutting off a little bit in the evening. So I still do work some evenings, but definitely weekends I try to pretty much just shut off from things. I do answer the occasional question here and there, but for the most part, yeah, on the weekends, I try to take it a little bit easier. And actually this weekend I was very busy. Saturday, I went out for sushi. I had like a late sushi lunch, which was quite nice. And then we went for an impromptu, I don't really drink very often, guys, maybe once or twice a year, but we went out to a cocktail bar in Nottingham with a few friends. We had a few very nice cocktails. I had a very nice cocktail that had like an ice lolly on top. It's from Hockley Arts Club in Nottingham. And yeah, so that was really nice. And I got very tipsy off 2 cocktails because I just don't drink very often. Yeah, it was just a good thing, I suppose. You don't drink very often, then you only need 2 drinks. So I was feeling pretty tipsy after just those 2 drinks anyway. So that was my Saturday taken up. And then Sunday went to my parents and yeah, had a nice fish pie, which is nice actually, and met up with my older brother and his girlfriend, and we're just chatting, and yeah, it was good times anyway. So but yeah, it was good. Yeah, it's just a shame that the whole like driving vlog thing didn't work out in terms of the SD card. I definitely need to maybe keep 1 or 2 SD cards in my car just in case. These are all the fun things about learning how to do like social media as a business, which is now my primary focus, by the way. Now, obviously doing social media, doing my Discord community is my main focus. Essentially educating people around Amazon FBA is my main focus now. FBA for me now is, I guess, it brings money in, which is fantastic. It's now more of a marketing tool for me, really, I guess, to help people get into Discord community, get people to watch my YouTube channel. I'm still going to be working hard on FBA, of course, but you know, well, let's say working hard-ish, I suppose. However, one thing I'm actually thinking about doing is maybe changing strategies. And by the way, I still think OA is 100% viable. I think it's a fantastic method. It's just a little bit time consuming, especially from the admin point of view. Although I've got an admin VA, by the way, who I got from Outsource Central. So check them out if you want an admin VA. An admin VA is a lifesaver. Get yourself an admin VA, guys, or a sourcing VA as well. You can get them from Outsource Central. But yeah, I'm definitely thinking now I might try. Basically, what I want to do is round myself out. What I really enjoy is helping people like get into Amazon or start a business. I really enjoy helping people. I want to see people succeed. I want to essentially change lives. I want to help people get out of their 9 to 5, or maybe they're struggling with money and either make some more money so they don't have to struggle, they can pay their bills, because it sucks if you can't afford to pay your bills. Having money, savings is quite a nice thing. You know, so I want to help people get to that level, or if they want to quit their 9 to 5, depends on what people's goals are, but you know, it doesn't matter what their goals are, whether it's just making a little extra money on the side hustle, or you know, taking this full time. I love helping people do that. So right now, obviously, my only experience really is with OA. So pretty good at OA. So now I think I want to round myself out as an Amazon seller. There's kind of a few routes I can go down. There's private label is one of them. Wholesale is the other one, I suppose. I'm trying to think of another. I feel like I'm missing one. I suppose RA as well, but I'm not going to be going down the RA route, even though actually that would make the most sense from a social media point of view. I noticed most of the successful social media FBA people Yeah, they do RA videos, they get the most people in. So I'll have to think about that for the future, but depends if I'm still in the UK or not. I want to round myself out as an Amazon seller. And I think the next point, it's private for me, it's private label or wholesale. The fact I'm doing Ungate right now, quite liking the wholesale route. I think I'm going to move more into doing wholesale in the future. Maybe hang up my hat a little bit on the OA. I'll still probably do OA, but now I've moved my actually VA into doing Ungate as well. So maybe I'll hang my hat up on OA a little bit. So if I see a good deal, I'm not going to leave money on the table, but I'm going to maybe not do that quite as much. And I'm going to move into wholesale and then learn that business model basically. So obviously I know a lot about Amazon already in terms of how to sell things like that, but what I don't know about is like opening accounts, creating a website, all the nuances that come around the wholesale thing. And same with private label, you need to learn different skills to do private label. Private label I think is probably the more advanced method on doing Amazon, which is why I do not recommend anyone gets into that when they're first starting Amazon. But yeah, so I think wholesale for me is going to be the next one, see how far I can push that one. And then eventually maybe in a year or two, maybe I'll do private label. And at that point, you know, I'll be fairly well-rounded as an Amazon seller. I'll be able to give advice to people and help people get into Amazon. I don't recommend you start with wholesale. I don't recommend you start with private label. I do recommend you start with OA or RA. But then I can help those people that want to, just like me, maybe transition from OA, RA into wholesale or private label. That's a very natural thing that most people end up doing, is transitioning from there into these more advanced methods that require more money and more knowledge. But yeah, so that's what I'm thinking anyway, is maybe, yeah, start hitting the phones, opening some wholesale accounts, doing some wholesale orders, and yeah, maybe just trying to sell up my OA stock. And maybe I might even like take a break for a month or two, just not order anything, just try and literally sell through all my inventory, get all that money back, and then maybe have a fresh start, I guess, into wholesale. I'm not sure yet. It's hard to pass up money, really. I probably won't do that, to be fair, but yeah, there are downsides to doing OA. I think it's obviously it's got the easiest barrier to entry. I think you can make some quick money. But hey, like all these things, I'll try to be honest with you guys. There's upsides, there's downsides. The downsides definitely the admin point of view. You know, chasing a lot of invoices, ordering a lot of deals. You know, tracking all that stuff can be quite time consuming. And there was another one as well, which I just totally forgot. But yeah, there's definitely more. So, oh yeah, it was actually about the fact that you've got so many SKUs as well. So right now I've got 350 SKUs. There's quite a lot to manage, you know, staying on top of them, pricing, things like that. Well, the long and short of it is I don't stay on top of it really. It's hard to stay on top of that kind of thing. So, you know, and then obviously if you go into wholesale, you're going to have probably more quantity of fewer SKUs. Maybe you have 10, 20, 30 SKUs. So definitely easier to manage. Stay on top of the pricing, things like that, so, and seeing how the market's going on them. But yeah, it's just kind of an interesting thing. It's something I'm thinking about anyway, but right now really the main thing really is the social media and the community, and that's the main thing for me. The community is just, it's turned into a fantastic thing. I really need to sort this out. The computer keeps going off here and screwing that white balance. But yeah, that's definitely something I'm enjoying more right now. And another thing I recommend as well with business, do what you enjoy. Don't just chase the money. See what you enjoy. That's the main thing really. If you enjoy it, you're going to be more likely to be successful. I guess, yeah, I mean, one of the things I learned obviously as I got older was try not to just chase the easy money. Sometimes it can be very tempting to chase that kind of quick, fast money. And to be honest, there's nothing wrong with doing that. If there's you see an opportunity where you can make some quick money, cool, that's cool, then you can use that and put that into a longer term business. But yeah, one thing I learned definitely is, yeah, don't chase the quick money now. Now I'm all about building businesses, building brands, having longevity in what I'm doing. This is why I don't do tickets. You know, I've been tempted to get into tickets. I know people can make some crazy money from tickets. I've just got zero interest in tickets. I feel like it's a little bit flash in the panny and there's no real business there. So I don't know, for me, it's just not, I'm just not interested in it whatsoever. I know people make a fortune from it. I've got zero interest in that. So I don't care how much money people are making. I'm just not interested. What I'm interested in is the social media and the Discord communities, things like that, and Amazon FBA. So, but yeah, so stop chasing those flash in the pan things and just start working on like a business that's got some longevity to it. And yeah, I mean, you could argue as well. I mean, again, downside to OA, you can't sell the business. I've talked about this before. But yeah, good gateway business though. So Amazon FBA into other things. Whether you take Amazon FBA a bit more seriously, grow it into like a big OA empire. And like I said, I know guys that make 20, 30, 40,000 pound a month doing OA or into wholesale or private label. Again, I know people that have done that. They're moving into private label, being very successful. One of them's Nikos, one of them's Adam. You guys should probably check those guys out. Yeah, it's interesting anyway. So let me know what you guys think. Where do you see yourself going in a year or two on Amazon? Are you a new seller? Are you an existing seller? Are you see yourself transitioning to private label? Do you see yourself transitioning to wholesale? Are you going to stick to OA? Or I know people that just do RA. I think RA, you can literally just start doing RA and just stick to doing RA. You can make a good living out of doing RA. I think you can actually genuinely make £100,000 profit a year doing RA if you get really good. So yeah, that's definitely a viable method as well. Definitely I guess it's an overlooked method actually, retail arbitrage. For those who don't know, RA, retail arbitrage. I think if you go hardcore on RA and you get a van and you're willing to drive around all day, or no, I don't know, like definitely drive around all day, but put the work in, put the legwork in, do the research, know the stores, have good routes and stuff like that, have some good replens. I actually genuinely think you can make some really good money. I think you could make 6 figures doing RA. Again, it'd be an interesting challenge actually, although I'm not definitely an outdoor person like that. I get, I've got a limit to how much RA I can do. I've done big RA trips that have been 6-8 hours, and by the end of it, I was absolutely sick of it. Especially if the weather was bad out, but actually when I did that big 8-hour RA trip, it was a beautiful summer day, and even by the end of it still I was just tired and ratty and just like fed up basically. Even though and in that I made a lot of money. I made like £400 or £500, just not a thing for me really, but I know, I think it's a great way you can make money though. And yeah, again, it doesn't matter what strategy you choose, just go deep on it and get good at it. I come up with different strategies inside those big strategies. Get good at getting the replens, know the stores, know the categories. Everything's viable if you're willing to put the work in. If you're just doing surface level research and just taking the easy leads from groups and that's all you're doing, you can't expect to make 5, 10, 15, 20,000 profit a month. Realistically, you're going to be struggling. So yeah, it's an interesting one anyway. But hopefully, I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what was the tone of this video. Was it positive, negative? I don't know. I try and inspire people. I try and be positive. I'm very bullish on Amazon. I think it is a fantastic business model for people. I think you can make a lot of money. I think it's a business I recommend a lot of people get into. Having been out there, I've done like crypto, I've done reselling, I've done whatever, all sorts of stuff. Like this for me is like, I was like, this is the one. Oh yeah, like tried some blogging for a very short time. Didn't really put much effort into that. Obviously, you've got like things like affiliate marketing. You've got so many ways to make money on Amazon, on the internet, I should say. Sorry, there are literally thousands of ways to make money on the internet. For me, from what I've discovered, FBA is literally the best way to go. But obviously, other people might disagree with me. Just stay away from like the day trading, the stock trading, the crypto, I don't know. I'm not into that kind of stuff. Some people like that kind of stuff, but I think it's just also scammy. Forex trading, all that kind of like, I don't know, yeah. Stay away from that stuff. Build a real business. So anyway, we'll probably call it a day there. I've been talking and mumbling on for a little while, but hopefully you found that interesting. I need to get on to Nikos actually and get that podcast again. I know you guys really enjoyed that last podcast I did with Nikos. I need to have a catch up with him, see how he's getting on with his Amazon business. I'll try and arrange that and get that out as well. And obviously, I'm not sure when this video is going to come out, but I'll be doing my live Q&A 8 PM on a Monday. I try to do that nearly every Monday. So if you're a new Amazon seller or an existing Amazon seller, you can check me out on live at 8 PM on YouTube, 8 PM UK time, which is GMT at the moment. Our clocks have just gone back, I believe. And yeah, and if you want to learn Amazon, get into my Discord community. There's a link in the description for that. You can come, it's 100% free. You can ask me questions, hang out with other people. It's a really great place to hang out. It's the best Amazon FBA community for UK Amazon sellers. Hopefully we'll build up more of an international crowd over time. But right now it's mainly focused around the UK sellers. But yeah, thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.